Good morning, this is Rabbi Shlomo, first to Yeshiva Tsama Nafshi, Yerushalyim, HaKodesh. This is our first year, usually 9 o'clock. We're learning Avos. So we're in the middle of a point that was raised when we got to the Rabbeinu Tam Sefer Yosher. The Rabbeinu Tam was explaining that we were learning in the first parak of Avos, the Mayim Altis Yayesh Minapronis. Person shouldn't, as Rashi and others unfortunately explain too shocking, person shouldn't give up hope on Pronis. If tragedies, retributions are occurring, then you shouldn't think that this is going to stay this way. Hashem could take him out and bring you salvation, so we shouldn't be despairing in the midst of tragedies and calamities. Another try is don't forget about them. As good as things might be, they always could change. Which is what Rabbeinu Tam was explaining, that we have many times people, whether it may be good things, people get famous, or have fortunes, or bad things, they're exiled, or imprisoned, or sickness, these things take a person's heart away from his service of the HaKodesh Baruch Hu. He becomes distracted, and he can't serve the HaKodesh Baruch Hu the way Hashem wants him to. So therefore a person has to, at that moment, the Rabbeinu Tam says, he has to remember that there's a pact that was made with the HaKodesh Baruch Hu, that he took a vow, and there was a promise that was made. It was on this condition, under all circumstances, he was going to and will serve the HaKodesh Baruch Hu. So he has to be careful to remember this at the time that he's having ups or downs, whether they're ups which could distract him, or they're downs that could distract him. So to understand this pact, this vow, and this promise, as we're going to Tom mentioned, we want to go again now. We look at the last Maimer in Pirkei Avos in the 4th chapter, in the 4th parak. That's at page 399 in your siddur here, and then we're going to go from there to a Gemara Nida, and then eventually, when we finally come to hopefully an understanding of Rabbeinu Tam, then we can get back to Shmuel Cotton that says a person shouldn't take joy in the downfall of his enemies. I'll try and understand that. So let's take a look another time at what we were taught here in the last parak of this chapter of the 4th chapter of Mishnah's Pirkei Avos. So it says here that Yada, it's the 4th line from the top. Now, let's read that. Da, you should know.
Know that everything is according to the accounting.
There's a reckoning. There's a strategy behind everything. Nothing is left to chance. There's a strategy behind everything.
399, right?
Yes.
And don't, you should not let yourself think or trust that
Yitzrecha, that's your Yetzer. Don't let your don't have faith in what your Yetzer is going to try and convince you to say to you that what?
That the afterlife will be a refuge for you.
Yeah, literally Shoyel means the grave. Don't think that we'll eat, drink, and be happy and be merry because tomorrow we'll leave this world and everything will be fine after that. No, that's not true. Don't think that you're going to move from this world to another situation that's going to be absolutely better under all circumstances. No, there's going to be things which are going to have to take place, which a person's going to have to give a din v'cheshbon, as we'll see. This person has to give an accounting and a reckoning about what everything he did. So he shouldn't think that he can simply do what he wants in this world and then hope for a better place in the next world, regardless of what he did here. Why?
Because against your will you were formed. That against your will you were born. And against your will you live. And against your will you die. Against your will you will do a reckoning, an accounting before Hashem.
Very good. Okay. So now, just to keep the Mishnah open here, and you'll take a look at the Gemara in Nida. This is the famous Gemara, you've probably heard of it, and mentioned it. I think the rabbis and others have probably mentioned it from time to time, and maybe we'll take a look at what it says inside here. This is toward the the latter third of the daf. This is daf Lamed Amid Beis in Morninda. We'll begin. I think the best place where we can begin is as this more is discussing about the moments just before a person is born into this world. So it says here. We'll start right here. You'll see.
What's the first word on the line?
First word on the line would be. Rabbi Yishmael, Messiah, Kari Kamashmulan. Stop. The Dorish Rabbi Simloi. That's where we're going to start. The Dorish Rabbi Simloi. Rabbi Simloi expounded as follows. Go ahead.
Dorosh Rabbi Simloi, Lama Ulad expounded Rabbi Simloi. Why, for what purposes is one born?
So it's like this Lama Havlad Doima B'mei Imoy. To what? Lama, to what is the fetus similar to the Mei Imo in the womb of the mother?
The pincus, pincus is like a ledger.
A ledger, exactly.
Mikufal.
It's folded over. A ledger like you have a ledger that's folded over on itself.
Right.
Okay.
The Munaf and is resting Gedav al Shtei Sadav, and his hand is resting upon two sides.
Right, and his hands, Yadov, his hands are rested on his sides. Like his hands are like this, on his on the sides. His hands are on the sides.
Shtei Etzlav al Bet Archavatav, and his two. This is also sides. Etzlav are like his forearms are on his knees. Yes, his knees. The Bet Akavav al Bet Agvatav, and his two heels are on two.
Those are the buttocks.
I see. Yes. Oh right, I guess the fetus is sort of all bent up.
That's right. Exactly, it's all bent up.
Although this seems exceptionally bent up. The heels on the. I'm not even sure how that's possible.
Not exactly. No, if you sit on the floor with your knees, and you have your heels can come to your back. That's okay. That's okay.
Although the fetal position is usually the knees up like this, and then you're curled up like this.
Right, but the feet are curled up underneath the bottom of the boot.
Oh, okay, fair enough. The Rosh Munach Lo Ben Berchav, and his head is resting between his knees. Bopiv, stream, and his mouth is closed, is sealed. The Tiburo, Patuach, Ochel, and his navel is open, and he eats Mema Shi'imo Ochel, and he eats what his mother eats. I guess they knew about this.
Didn't have doctorates in medicine.
The Shoter Mema Shi'imo Shoter, and he drinks what his mother drinks. Eno Matsi Ra'i, and he doesn't. This thing I got wrong actually. He doesn't release excrement. Shema Yeharog et Imo, lest he kill the mother. Although I guess doesn't release excrement. I guess in the traditionals, but I'm not sure actually. But I'm sure that the fetus does for sure. Absolutely.
But that's at the end of it. The water is becoming there because it's already during the processing everything. It's a closed system. It's part of the circulation system of the mother. So it's like it has no need for excrement actually.
I think what does have to be sent out goes through the cord.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's all the circulation through the blood system. That's all through the blood system.
Rabbi, excuse me, where are we in Nida, please?
Okay, we're in Daf Lamed with Amid Beis.
I don't know what that
That means
means.
the second, when we usually refer to a Gemara, we refer to a Daf, Chof, which is 20, Lamed, which is 30, and then there's the front page or the back page. So the front page is reference to Amid. Amid means the page. Aleph means the front page, and Amud Beis, the back page.
Okay.
So in Lamed, Amud Beis.
Okay, and so what does Lamed equal?
30.
So we're in 30b in Nida. Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Aleph is always the right side, Bet is always this side. This is one dove. And Aleph is always this side, and Bet is always this side.
Thank you.
כיוון שיצא לאוויר העולם, נפתח הסתום, and when it's time to go out to the light of the world, it is opened that which was closed, and astum habatuach, and it is closed that which was opened.
The mouth, which was closed, is now becomes open. The baby comes into this world usually with a cry, right? And nistam habatuach, but the navel, which is previously open, is closed.
Okay. I was wondering what that was. I was trying to Amalei, this means if not for.
Right.
If not for Ken, if this wasn't so, the fetus would not be able to live even for an hour.
Right, so meaning if the child's mouth didn't open, meaning he didn't breathe, right, or if the navel was not closed, then the blood would be just gushing out, so it would be impossible to live for a short time. They make sure, they try very, very much. If the baby doesn't automatically respond by crying, so they actually go through efforts to make the baby cry. Because it has to open the lungs have to expand. There was no need for the lungs to function. The whole time that the baby was in the womb of the mother, there was no need for the lungs to function. And he was getting all this oxygen through the navel, through the oxygen supply of the blood of the mother. Right now, he's cut off from the life source of the mother through the navel and umbilical cord. So now the baby has to learn to breathe on its own. So it's very crucial that the baby cries to open up the lungs, expand them, let them open up into their full volume, so now the baby can breathe. Without that, the baby is very dangerously at risk.
And the candle is lit for him upon his head.
So up until now, Rabbi Simloy has been giving us an explanation according to the physical situation of the child, the fetus. What's its physical situation? So he took us through how it was resting in the womb of the mother up until the time of birth. So that's what he's explaining. Now he's going to explain the spiritual situation of the child.
Venerda loklo. I'll show. It's a fe mavit masuf meself olam that's sofo, and it is covered. This means that the one who looks down looks over everything.
Sof is to view, right? To view. And so there's a candle which is lit above his head, and he sees, right? Sofer, there's two lashons. Sofer umabit. There's a double lashon here. Right. Sofer meaning he sees and he's observant from one end of the world to the other end of the world.
Could it be a tsufa? In other words, like it is seen and then mavit and then he sees. Maybe sofer
umabit. Mabit is really more. Sofer is just basically to see. Mabit habata is like an intent observation. He intently observes.
This is referring to the candle or the child?
Child.
So the child sees from one end of the world to the other end of the world?
That's right.
Oh. Okay. But that's because his like a new neshama or something like that?
Okay, well, Gumar's going to explain this a bit.
I see.
We're going to do a bit.
Okay, but Sofa v'mavish me'sof ha'olam ba'ad sofo shne'emar v'halu nero alai roshe noro Paskin Eov elecha choshech v'al tatma.
So we're saying,
Choshech is the end of the pasuk.
that's the end of the pasuk, right? So it says that the fetus sees and observes intently from one end of the world to the other end, as it says in the pasuk, "Ba'alo ne'roi alai roshi." This is he's talking in the first person. Has it not been that his candle was upon my head, oro to illuminate elei choshek, that which is my path in choshek, to illuminate my path in choshek. So that's the pasuk. Al titma, don't wonder about. You might don't wonder about this. How's this unborn child supposed to be able to see from one end of the world to the next? How is it possible to do that, to see that, to know that? Yeah? Why?
So Nero would mean like the candle of Hashem or something, right? Because it's
yeah, he's killing right.
anyway, well, yeah.
Take a look in here. We'll see how they explain what the explanation of Nero is. That's important to know.
Yeah. Va'al titma, and you will not be. I'm not sure.
What? La'al titma, don't wonder.
Don't wonder.
But when you see it in Tosas a bit, you don't wonder. This might seem fantastic. This might be fantastic to you. How is it this unborn child who knows nothing, apparently knows nothing about this world? How can the Gemara say that he sees the whole entire universe from one end of the world to the next? How can the Gemara is trying to prove to us the unborn child in the womb of the mother? He sees from Soifa Olam Ad Soifa. He sees from the Gemara Lamed.
That's where you are.
Lamed Amid base in Nidit, or the last quarter of the daf there, right? The child sees from one end of the world to the next. So the Gemara says, yeah, Amid base. Amid base. Al Titma, the Gemara says, don't wonder about this. This child is an unborn child. His eyes have never seen the light of day. And the Gemara is telling us he can see from one end of the world to the next. How can that be? Al Titma, the Gemara says, don't wonder about this. Why? He'll bring you obvious proof that we can all understand.
First word is the Oro on one. Shaharei Adam Yashen An Ro'eh Chalom. Behold, a man sleeps here and he sees a dream. Aspami. I'm not sure what Aspami is.
That's a place. That's from actually Aspamia. Aspamia is actually known to be as Spain. Aspamia. You see the word Spain in that word sort of? Aspamia. Sort of, right? Who says they spell this the way they spell Spain is the correct spelling? The Gemara knew better than what they know now. Oh, so that's the proof. I mean, don't think that the child can't see things that he's never seen before, because a person can be dreaming, dream about Spain. Maybe he was never in Spain before. Dream about places you've never been to. You ever have that experience? You dreamt about someplace you never were? Childless? Okay. Now we're getting to the main point which we wanted to bring this Gemara down for. Okay.
And you don't have days. Man doesn't have days. Sharui the Tova, Yotzera.
Surely the Torah meaning that literally he's drenched. He's drenched in goodness. soaked. He's soaked in kuzuz. No other time of life that he's soaked in such goodness as when he was in his mother's womb.
Compared to those days, Shinatmar, here in the Pasuk, Misha Yitalu Kerachi Kedem Kimei Anoha. This is like with who gave me like my
Yarki Kedim, my early bliss, my early bliss.
Shoresh is Yud Resh Chet.
Yes, it is.
Me Itzani Kedem Kimei Elohim, but the days of the Lord of God.
Yishmareni, that he guarded over me.
Yishmareni, that he guarded over me. I think it's the end of the pasuk. Ezo Yamim Shenish Behem Yerushalyim. Which are the days that have such bliss in them? Ve'ein Behem Shanim, but don't have years. Hoy Omer Ezo. Woe, the one who says to him, Yachi Lida. Go to the one who says to him, my bliss was born.
The Yarki later, actually, here it's referring to months. Yarki later, those months of being in the womb. See, this is an answer according to going back to the Mishnah we learned al karka chata nolad, right? Against your will, you're born. So because the person's having such a great time there in the womb, so he's not interested in really leaving and going out, right? So this is one answer why it's al karka chata nolad. Why we understand that against your will, you're born, because it's such a tremendous bliss that he's experiencing in the womb.
And they teach him, teaches him all the Torah, Shinatmar, the Yoreni, Yomer Li, Yitzmach Tevarai, Likcha, Shomer Mitzvatzai, Chaye. Teach me Yoreni, and he taught me. And he said to me, Yitzmach, rely upon my words in your heart, to your heart. Guard my commandments and live.
Right. That'll be the condition, right? Right. Yatnich Devarai, you should have my words to your heart. More mitzvah, you should guard my mitzvahs. If we're you should live.
And then the pasuk for Omer is that can you over there. The Sod Eloha Elai Ahali. In the council, in the council of God.
Even like the secret of the HaKodesh Baruch was upon me.
Right. On me, Ahali, in my tent.
In my it's like a tent in terms of being protected. It's a protected environment. So the Gemara asked, my Amar, what's the meaning of Amar?
My va'omer, Chitema.
Navi, is he speaking? What do you mean he's speaking? He's a Navi, meaning that he's supposed to be that this statement about keeping the mitzvahs. He's a Navi. What's going on? He's still in the womb of his mother. What does he know about all these things? Naviu, Mika Omar, is he speaking as if he was a Navi? Tashma, so that we learn, right? What? Sod Eloha Alai, Alai,
Ohali, Kevom, Sheva, Avir, Ha'olam, Ba'malach, Satro, Al-Hiv. This is the famous idea that the angel comes and it hits him on his mouth. The Shachacho, Mishacho, and forgets, Kol HaTorah, Kudosh, Ne'emor, Yitzchak, Hatat, Rovats. There's the pasuk of Bereshit to open oh no, this is
that's like
at the
pit.
opening. At the opening, sin crouches. Ve'ena yotzei misham and it doesn't go out misham from there. Ad shevin until
They make him take a oath, a shvua.
Right, sure, right.
So this is what we'll have to stop now. But this is where we're going to start this tomorrow, the Tashma, that they can take a shvua. So this is one of the few things that the Rebbeinu Tam was talking about. There's a covenant, there's a pact, and there's a vow, and there's a promise. So based on this Gemara, we'll be going to understand what Rebbeinu Tam means about this pact, this covenant, and this promise and this vow that we took to the Lord. Okay, it's simple.